So, and here's the second part of this video, which will cover all the real build from taking it out of the printer, of the resin printer, into installing the battery and doing a test ride and double checking the battery consumption, give my final opinion about the build and what it's good for, and yeah, and stay tuned and interested. It's a good outcome, I can already say. Here we go. Inside there is a printed battery holder. I want to position this camera here. Alright, so let's open this. As said, this is a resin printer which can print in a really high resolution. If you're working with this stuff, make sure you protect yourself, because the resin is not really healthy for you. But I leave this to professional people to explain, so I take my precautions. I'll take out the print for you, so you have a quick look. That's the print, which is sticking on that board here. On the build plate, so-called build plate. Looking quite good. I'll take it off that print plate and clean it and show it to you. So we took it out of the washing. It's not cured yet. No, actually we'll cure now a little bit in the sunlight. Light it all. You see here our quite beautiful battery box. The area for the voltmeter. That's our already closed side, and we will slide in the battery soon and put on the lid, cable, wire everything up and put it on the board. Sweet. Right, now we got the lid finished, and this is all washed. I like to cure it out a little bit later. It is dry enough and it's sitting in the sun for a while, but I don't want to harden it completely, because maybe I have to. So we have this this inner piece here which will slide into position. We have the outside that will close it completely. So later on, when the battery is running perfectly, I'll just put a little bit of resin onto the outside surface, put it on and let it cure, so that it's closed and locked. While this is really neat. This is the closed side, and there you see the little gap of the lid. Yeah, we're gonna slide in the batteries now. There's the area for the socket, which I changed now. I had to, this is not printed, this is done with a file, because I wasn't sure where the battery ends up, because I don't have a 3D model of the battery, especially not of the BMS and everything. So I took this measurement by hand. Next time, if I ever print it again, now I know where to put in the XT60. This is fine, this is all perfect. I slide in the batteries. So we've installed the voltmeter down there, and the socket is in here. The battery will slide in later. This is just the power supply for the voltmeter. That's a little external one. Yes, you see, looks good. I need both of my hands to slide it in, and I'm back with you in a second. Slided it pretty well. Eventually, think I had to push quite hard. But I know that with resin, once it's really cured, it will shrink a bit again. So I think it was okay to give it a little push. For sure, that will not slide out. You see here your batteries, all nice. And yeah, I will put in the cables in position now, and then I will install the lid. I'm back with you. So let's maneuver this into position. So double check the cable routings here. That looks tight, but this is okay. I'm going to push in the balancer cables. That one will stay here. Balancer cables will stay here. No, there's no problem. This one can actually stay on top like this. And that is far away. I also put the battery here. This is no problem because it's also shrinked, and so there's actually no reason for me in the moment to make this or to glue it down, because the lid will keep it all nicely in position. So the lid is on, little cable mess underneath, and then batteries in there. I will just put some little resin here and there for a little temporary fixing. You see here, there's a little, just pushing a little bit the batteries, the box open. As I mentioned, because it's not 100% cured yet, might shrink a little bit and give a little bit more room for the batteries. But for sure, they will not move anywhere. So I'm going to glue it down a little bit. It's for sure super tight fit in there, and it's really nice, beautiful. All right, here we go. It's sealed up. As I said, there's some resin now on the lid, and I cured it. Now the lid is glued on there. Put some resin around the voltmeter. That works fine. That's my board. There's some old glue on here from some former projects, which is not bad. Could clean it up later. The plan is to just install some of this double-sided super strong Velcro, so it can always come off and on. You see here, that's how it's going to sit. And then the cable goes in. We're good for a test ride. Installed on both sides, which has I'm just gonna put it on top and click it on, and click it on here. You could, of course, do something with cutting your fender and make a strap around, or drill it in, or glue it on. I think that this is good enough. Maybe I like it that it comes off when I flip over the board. I could plug in now, but my board is completely full, and I like to wait until it's a little bit a lower percentage. But this is the look of the build. Share some footage of the rides and of the balance performance, the battery performance. Okay, off we go. It's the first ride. There's more than enough room for my foot, not like on the Evo builds. Of course, you're free to turn everybody would be free. Yes, from here I better have to make a voiceover because it became too noisy. So I just want to say that this battery, of course, sits just where I, made my first installation, and of course you could slide it more backwards or to the center. I think it's nice where it is now. For sure much better than these big Evo builds that sit in the back there. I don't know, I absolutely don't like this, and if you flip it over with a big battery on top, it will always tip over and it will always be ugly, and I wouldn't be surprised if they break quite often, this big range extenders. So riding now since approximately 20 minutes, half an hour. Still on 80%. Everything runs good. Trying to make screen recordings for you from the charging. As you can see here, I just finished my ride. It was really cold, so about 5 degrees out there. It was rainy, it was muddy. I went to the forest, I went up and down hills. So it was not a flat surface asphalt ride, so it was a quite hard ride, and really cold conditions for the battery, even though it shows 20 degrees temperature inside. It was very cold outside. So you see here, I end up at 8% battery, and at this moment I'm at 12 kilometers of ride. When I was back at my house, I managed to be at 1%. The battery was down to 46 volts, so that was quite empty. Got a warning. 99% of usage, and I did 40.3 kilometers in very cold conditions and uphill downhill ride, so that was quite successful. Here is your proof. This is a proof of the idea of a Lipo battery and LiFePo battery in here. We're running now a power booster. It's a 600 watt power booster that makes whatever comes out here to 58.4, 58.5, that's where I set it, or 2.8 of output current, output voltage. So this is now actually charging again the internal battery. So if you would run a thing like this in a smaller size inside of this box, you could probably run it down to the 40 volt, which is, this is really hard to read. Oh, now that flickers. It says 46 in the moment, and we're charging full on. And we did already a 15 kilometer ride in absolutely ice cold weather on this and that battery. So there's another 5 kilometers certainly coming out of this battery right now. I'll show you more later. So approximately 10 minutes later, I took everything out of the range extender battery. The BMS just shut down the battery. That was another approximately 1.2, 1.3 amp hours. So my Onewheel kit is now back on 59%, and I'll put it on charge now. Okay, so now at the end of the video, You see here that I charged the battery with 85.7, 2.5 amps. We reached 4,558 amp hours. So there's a nominal amps of 5,000 in here. In the end we used a power booster, DC-DC power booster, to take out the rest of the battery, which is like maybe 90, 95, 92, I don't know, efficiency for the last 1.2 amps. So, and of course it's never really full and never really empty. So that's pretty good. So for sure 4.5 it took out. Approximately 3.2 amps on the normal usage when it's just charging the LiFePo, and then we just drained the rest with DC-DC booster. So the battery works fine on a XT board which uses a lithium battery, but a 15S, as far as I know. You could probably use it and charge the battery while riding. But this is something, maybe we'll find some people writing something in the comments if this is possible or not. But for the LiFePo batteries in the version 1 and in the Plus, it's a fine concept. It's well said. This is €100 from batteries to resin and a few parts. So I'll show you one more thing about the charging, and then this is the end of this video. This is the final section of this video. One more very interesting thing. First of all, I promised you to show you the charger, which clearly says 58 volt DC. I measured it, it's 58.8 actually. And this is exactly what it needs to charge 14S lithium batteries. Exactly this pack. It would need 58.4 for the battery in here for the LiFePo. But so when I figured this one out, I said like, okay, with this charger, I can actually charge the board and the pack at the same time. Or I could charge either the board or the pack. Now board and pack is full, so I didn't plug in the charger just because they're really full. But I can, I just bought this Y splitter. It's two sides male, one side female. And if you harness everything up correctly, then you can just use it as a single charger. Let me help this. This one's in. So now it charges directly only this. You could do the same for this side here. Or you could do, actually, you can do both. Now I've connected the battery and the board. That's why it blinked for once. So this is always connected. So they are equalizing now. And if I plug it in, it charges the board and the pack at once with one original charger. I think that's a great solution. You could even take this one for a ride with you in the backpack. And if you're somewhere for coffee, you could just plug this one in and both of them will charge like this. You don't need an extra charger. Yeah. Well, this is it. I hope you enjoyed the show.